Hello, welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already.
I hope you guys have
So this is one of my first YouTube videos, and
a great week. And
I've decided
come back
that I wanted to just
stay
talk
tuned
about the experience of
next videos.
Trying to get into becoming a YouTuber. So, in a nutshell, before you even try to make the video, you might look up like 15 to 30 other YouTubers and start to procrastinate and compare yourself, and then try to figure out, okay, how am I going to make the perfect video? But then you never actually make your YouTube video. And this has happened to me over and over and over again, because I don't know, it's just the idea of creating this cultivated image of myself just feels it feels kind of odd. In life, you present yourself a certain way, like you go out and people don't know your entire story or life. They only see the appearance of it. But it just feels like, I don't know, I'm just not used to the idea of presenting myself without getting into my perfectionist tendencies. But anyways, besides of that, the experience of becoming a new YouTuber goes a little bit like this. Retake. Anyways, so that was my experience, and I've decided that I don't really want to make YouTube videos if I'm not going to enjoy what I'm doing. So I would rather just talk about things that matter to me, as well as do things that would be relaxing and that would be enjoyable. Things that I'm actually because after a long day at work, because this is not like my full-time job, or is I think Ali Abdal explained it as is it a full-time committed relationship with YouTube, or is it kind of like a part-time kind of thing? And I guess I'm part-time or flex worker. I'm a flex worker. But that being said, after a long day of work, I'd rather just come to YouTube and do the things that I enjoy doing, and not have to be worried about it being perfect, I guess. So that being said, given my bio, I want to do some of the things tonight that I really enjoy. So I am currently in another country. I am from Kentucky, and I am currently staying in a country in the Eastern Caribbean. Some dreams of mine is to be able to, I'm hoping to travel to at least 40 countries within the next few years. And then some other hobbies that I enjoy is singing. I enjoy reading, writing, learning French and staying healthy. So, yeah. I really enjoy like staying active and trying to have balanced meals. Another way for me to stay healthy is I really enjoy like working on my mental health. Okay, just a few more things and then I'll let you guys go. Another passion of mine is reading. And Robert Frost is a very popular poet. He's actually an American poet. And I'm going to read it to you and then discuss about it. And let me know in the comments if you have a song request or a request for like a certain like reading that I could read and then talk about. Let me know. Let me see. Yeah, I haven't been able to pick between Fire and Ice and The Road Not Taken. Those are very popular by him. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with The Road Not Taken. The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent into the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I keep the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So let's go back. So two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. So it's really interesting because it starts off with him talking about two different paths, as we know, and this initial experience of feeling sad, like sorrowful or apologetic for not being able to take both, to travel both paths, you know. And my question is, why is he apologetic? Is it because he's telling us he's telling us as the reader, like, I'm sorry that I couldn't have taken both paths? Or is it, as I suspect, that it's like how we think we um, when we feel bad that we couldn't like do it all, like do every pass and experience everything. And maybe he's apologizing because he can't share with us about, what both paths um, would involve. I'm not really sure. Okay. And be one traveler, long I stood, and be one traveler, long I stood. So he's depicting the idea of like when you're making, it's kind of like when you're making decisions, you take a moment, and you take a long moment. So he's giving a lot of thought into this decision, and he's staying put until he makes a decision. He's not running down one path and then coming back and like checking out the paths. He's standing where he is for a long period to think very strategically and thoroughly, like, what path am I going to take in my life? And but he did say that he looks far down to see as far as he can, which basically shows that he did the work to try to see, like, what would that path really lead to before he made the decision. And I think we can read this passage and maybe miss that, like, that lesson of, like, take your time to make your decision, because in life it feels like things are just moving and moving and moving, that it's so hard to slow down and realize that we have control over our lives, even though we don't think we do. Even though we think that time is against us and that we need to just keep moving and moving and moving. But then if you don't take your time and thoroughly think through and look down as far as you can, like he did, then you may end up years down the road being like, why didn't I take my time and make sure this is what I really wanted? But I also believe that it is very easy to take that to the extreme and overthink. And I'm one of those people, like, I'm always overthinking and like overestimating, like, what is going to be ahead. And if I don't know what's ahead, then I freeze. I panic and I get scared to make a decision. What's really cool though is that he does make a decision, which eventually, not making a decision is a decision. So yeah. I don't know. It's kind of complicated because I guess it's just a balance. You wanna think about the choices that you make, but you also don't want to beat it to the ground. It like don't make yourself sick trying to figure out every possible scenario. I mean, that's just life. You can't anticipate everything. Okay. The next paragraph. So the next paragraph says, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. So it's like, oh, it looks nice. It looks like it wants me to take that path. You know, it looks clean and attractive. Um, Grass is greener on the other side. You know, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I guess maybe one is less clear because he had to look down as far as he could, you know, and for one path, and then the other one was a lot more clear. It was, he could describe it. He could say it's grassy. It wanted to be worn. You know, it was wide open. Huh. So as if, and then he says, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. So it's almost like um, he's saying that let me think. As if it treats everyone the same, as if it's a road taken often and that has a very clear wearing to it. That's what I'm thinking he's basically saying. Um, and then in the next paragraph, and both that morning equally lay. So they're equal. They're laying there, both of them, both of those paths. Um, Let me see. In leaves, no step had trodden black. This sentence has sent me for a loop. You know, I can really like try to like I have experience having been an English major and then just enjoying reading and analyzing. I have experience with analyzing, but this sentence gets me. Um, if you guys can figure it out, that would be awesome. I'm trying to figure this out. So the sentence is, in leaves, no step had trodden black. So before that, it's, and both that morning equally lay. In leaves, no step had trodden black. So what does that mean? Like, so there's the steps are not imprinted, maybe? In the leaves? They're not imprinted in the leaves? I'm not sure. But I do understand that the sentence, and both that morning equally lay. They're equal. I get that. But I didn't get the in leaves no step had trodden black. And then it says, oh, I kept the first for another day. The first for another day. See, I don't understand what he means by he kept the first. Does he talk about the first path? Is there a first path? Okay. Yet knowing how way leads on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. Is he basically saying that he didn't want to put it off? Okay. The last paragraph. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood. I'm sorry, that's notifications. It won't be quiet this time. I have a lot of notifications. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence. So I guess he's saying he's telling this with a sigh. It's hard for him to say or to come to terms with that, you know, your life goes on. So once again, he reminds us that two roads diverged in a wood. And then he says, and I, right? So he is kind of making that connection from the beginning of the poem when he says two roads diverged in a yellow wood. But now he's repeating, instead of saying yellow wood, he's just saying wood. And he's using that cliffhanger of like two roads diverged in a wood, and I, and then he continues. So I took the one less traveled by. So that was kind of like what we've been waiting for. Is like what road did he take? And he still didn't tell us which one, but we do know that it's less traveled by. And that's what made all the difference. So it's like, I guess he is basically saying that we each have our own road to travel on, and we don't know what's ahead. Some paths are more clear than others, but I guess the lesson is that he most likely took the less clear path, because that's the one that would be less traveled by, is the less clear path. But the lesson here is that sometimes taking the harder path or the less clear path, the path that you're not even sure, but it for you, your path, which is also your path, so it's the only one traveled by you would think, because there's no one youer than you that is truer than true. Yeah, so the beauty of taking the beauty of taking a risk. Taking a risk, I mean, I still believe in calculating things, but, you know, they do say, like, or it is said to not try to be like everyone else, but to be you. Like the quote I just had said, there's no one youer than you. So, and I think I'll leave off with that for tonight, because even though there's some other interest of mine, which is like writing and sorry about that. Even though there are some other interests of mine, which is like writing and practicing French, it is getting late, and I just want to leave off on that note, because I really think that this poem is bringing up a lesson that kind of connects to the beginning of my video, which was me trying to find, how am I going to fit in on YouTube? How am I going to feel good enough? But I realize now, after saying the quote of "There's no one youer than you," and this is truer than true. I'm probably butchering it, but from Dr. Seuss. Um, but it reminds me that I'm myself, and and um, and I will take my path. And I hope you guys have a great week, and please come back for stay tuned for my next videos. Bye bye.